It's so good to be with you on this yet another edition of the India Development Debate right here on ET Now. I'm Supriya Shrinate. The Mahagathbandhan seems to be on the rocks. The idea of a grand alliance of non-BJP parties against the Narendra Modi-Amit Shah juggernaut has suffered a body blow thanks to Mayawati's royal snub to the Congress party. The Dalit leader, who is expected to play a key role in Mahagathbandhan 2019, shocked the main opposition party by ruling out any tie-up with the Congress in Madhya Pradesh and also in Chattisgarh. What's worse, Mayawati has thrown her weight behind rebel Congress leader, former Chief Minister Ajit Jogi, as the chief ministerial candidate in Chattisgarh. The things stand right now. The breakup is good news for the BJP, which is facing big anti-incumbency waves in Chattisgarh. Many believe Mayawati is driving a hard bargain ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. The repercussions will, of course, be felt in the Hindi heartland of Uttar Pradesh. The cracks as they appear and what do they mean for Indian polity is a big topic of discussion and debate right here on the India Development Debate this evening. And joining us on the show this evening, Ghanshyam Tiwari represents the Samajwadi Party, Narendra Taneja represents the Bharatiya Janata Party, Neerja Chaudhary, political commentator and columnist. And you may be wondering, why don't we have the Congress Party? Well, the Congress said they will not participate on a debate on this topic of Mayawati stumping them. I wonder if that means that there's some political calculations that are still at work. Never a dull day in politics. Let's go straight into our discussion. Mr. Taneja, how relieving is this? Because going by the 2013 data of Chhattisgarh polls, the Congress and the BJP, which is the Raman Singh government, were away from each other by a vote share of less than a percentage point. 0.75% was the difference in the vote share of the two. Does this make things look up for the Raman Singh government? Because Congress was largely expected to trounce Raman Singh given the very, very thin vote share difference.
You see, it's not about this. The question is that, all that different political parties are trying to do to come together with only one objective, to throw BJP out from states, to throw BJP out from the center. I mean, look at the total these things. We all know that the country knows this is a kind of, they're trying to set up a kind of unholy alliance. The question is, are they succeeding? Look at the theater. Look at all this noise and song and drama and everything. It's about what? And the secondly, is the theater of absurd. Look at Mayawati talking something in Uttar Pradesh, Samajwadi Party something in Uttar Pradesh, doing completely different thing in Rajasthan, Mayawati ji doing completely different thing in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh and all, even in Delhi for that matter. Look at, for instance, what's happening within the Congress involving Aam Aadmi Party. So this is what it is. This is 2018. You have to have a political agenda. You have to have some ideology. You have to have a plan, some vision for the state where you want to fight, or for the center if you want to rule over India. That's the difference between Bharatiya Janata Party and all these, called them third front, fourth front, 50th front, Gathbandhan and all, Mahagathbandhan, or third, I don't know. There are so many names for them.
Okay.
The point is the people of India are very clear when they have got Bharatiya Janata Party with a solid, track record, with a solid philosophy and solid destination in mind. Why should they look around left, right or center when they've got something very solid, well tested and something which has already delivered?
No, 1 second. Narendra Taneja, you're not taking my question head on. My question to you was, does this make things look better for Raman Singh? I don't want a gyan on what happens in India all around politics. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Chhattisgarh. But let me take this across to Ghanshyam Tiwari. And Ghanshyam, given this happens ahead of 2019, this sort of a political opportunistic alliance, Vandana Singh can turn around and say this is not political opportunism. This is what it is. You were supposed to be in this grand alliance with the Congress and UP and all of that. Not happening. My question is, does this provide advantage to NDA, and does this also make you rethink on this whole Mahagathbandhan model? It's not going to be pan-India, it's going to be state-wise state. You will fight each other in one state and then you'll be together in the next state. Is that realistically the way to look at this?
Well, let me simplify this for the viewers. One, we believe that there is massive anger against BJP that has misled, cheated people of India on the promises that the Prime Minister and BJP made together, which is why we call it the most dhokebaj sarkar that India has ever seen. That is why our slogan is dhokebaj sarkar hatao, nai sarkar banao. Now, where does it lead Mahagathbandhan to? Mahagathbandhan is about, in the national election, this anger should culminate into one vote in opposition, one credible voice in opposition that is harnessing the people anger and presenting them a credible alternative at the state level, localizing the election. In Uttar Pradesh, SP, BSP combined will be that one alternative, and we have seen that working in Gorakhpur, Phulpur and Kairana. As far as state elections is concerned, We have seen Congress and BJP, on Congress and BSP unable to form an alliance in Gujarat, in Karnataka, now in Chhattisgarh. But where Mahagathbandhan comes together is it works both at a state level in pre-poll alliances as well as post-poll alliances. So I think the last verdict on the state elections is not out. It does not change the arithmetic equation and the strategy for SP-BSP alliance in Uttar Pradesh. We believe that people have certified this alliance as the carrier of their trust, and this trust will ensure that BJP is routed.
Okay. Ghanshyam Tiwari, if I can take a quick follow-up with you before I go across to Neerja Chaudhary. The follow-up has to be, what is most conspicuous in your answer is the absence of the word Congress party in Uttar Pradesh. Is it a given that there will be an SP-BSP combined in UP and the Congress is going to be out of this?
Mood of the nation is driven by regional parties, and regional parties will shape the overall alliance. Congress will be part of it in its own manner, but it will not be part of it at the cost of alliance. So in that sense, we are absolutely clear that the alliance would be to rout BJP in a manner that people see it as a credible force. It is not alliance that is determined by putting all the parties together and creating an alternative that has to be there just for the sake of it.
Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to go across to Neerja Chaudhary. How big a jolt is this for the Congress in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh, where it looks like Mayawati wants to go alone? And also, should the Congress now be prepared to play the role of a junior ally, cede a lot of space to allies like the BSP, who are tough, hard bargainers with intact, loyal vote banks?
It is a jolt to the Congress. Kamal Nath, the PCC chief in Madhya Pradesh, had said few days ago that we'll have the deal sewn up in 10 days' time. So everybody thought, it was almost a given. And everything had been tied up, but that's not the way it's turned out. Now the congressmen are saying the BJP is dividing the opposition. It's managed to put pressure on Mayawati. That's a given. Everybody knew the BJP will, go to any extent to keep the opposition divided, given the high stakes that there are for the BJP also. But I think Mayawati is bargaining very hard. She does not have stakes in Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. She also wanted the whole thing to be a package and wanted to be given certain seats in Rajasthan, where her presence is hardly there. Her stakes are going to be in the Lok Sabha elections. Her states are later on going to be in Uttar Pradesh elections for the assembly, which are still far away. But in the Lok Sabha elections in Uttar Pradesh, that's where things are going to matter. And she is bargaining hard for enough Lok Sabha seats to be given to her in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh in the Lok Sabha election, and of course UP. So she's played this game, I will leave you if you don't listen to me. And she has given, it has to be a reasonable number of seats. Now what is reasonable has to be worked out. She got nothing in UP. So if she wants 40 seats in the Lok Sabha for UP, is that reasonable, people will ask. The other, the other problem for the Congress is that if it bends too much in front of Mayawati, the upper caste may be very unhappy, even in the states where it may be on a winning spree like Rajasthan. Because remember, after the amendment in this Dalit Act, the upper castes have got together. There was a Brahmin conclave recently. They had a Bharat Bandh, and they are not very happy at all, because they see if the government can undo a Supreme Court ruling, then that act is going to be in place for a very long time to come. So the Congress has to do tightrope walk and yet keep Mayawati in the fold. How they're going to do it, we need to see in the coming days.
Okay, hold that thought. I'll go across to Narendra Taneja for just a bit. And Mr. Taneja, the question also is that you've been twice bitten, thrice shy. You had a bitter, acrimonious divorce with the BSP in the 1990s. In 2002, you supported the Mayawati government, and she stood there. There are already media reports that you are ensuring that Mayawati doesn't do a tie-up with the SP or the Congress in UP and you know, the political back channels are at work that Mayawati ties up with the BJP. Where does the truth lie? Will you be seeking the BSP out to get to the magical mark in 2019? Could Mayawati be an ally of yours for 2019?
Well, good question. You see, I'm not here in this show to disclose all this, but the fact remains that in Bharatiya Janata Party, we know BSP very well, we know Mayawati ji very well, we know Mamta ji very well, we know Sharad ji very well, we know so many of this party, we know them very well, we have worked with them, many of them we have worked before. So we know these political parties, we know how they think. We also know, for instance, what BSP thinks about SP. Never forget this, you know, the state guest house issue where Samajwadi Party, allegedly their goons try to actually take her life. So we know that, you know, and people have not forgotten. And at the same time, you see, look at BJP's connect today with the communities that Mayawati ji is closer to. We have a very good connect with them. Look at the kind of work we are doing for them and the kind of support we are getting from them in Uttar Pradesh and beyond Uttar Pradesh, all across the country. And the same goes, you see, politics at the end of the day is the game of possible. Politics at the end of the day goes by this, what you are able to deliver, how people perceive you as a political party. My dear friend from Samajwadi Party saying that we are a dhokebaj government. Ask the people who, 5 crore women who got LPG cylinder, they'll answer your question. They'll say whether we are dhokebaj or not. All those villages which have got electricity now, ask them. The people who didn't have bank account, they have bank account, ask them. People who got 12 crore, people who got mudra account, ask them. Are they don't think we are dhokebaj. They have a different take when it comes to they know we have delivered. So we will not go by these kind of empty rhetorics, calling people dhokebaj, calling this, and we are not going to get into it. We have doing solid work, and I want to say one thing, when it comes to putting together alliances, BJP knows it better than any other political party. Certainly not small family-owned shops like Samajwadi Party. We know that. We know how to carry partners together. We know how to carry small regional parties together.
One second, Narendra, what are you talking about?
Experience of working with them, working together and working a modern new India.
No, please, let's not get to New India. We all know your Rajbhar alliance in Uttar Pradesh and how that won you elections. So let's not, your caste coalitions are as deeply entrenched as anybody else. So don't take a high moral ground on politics here. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, the point that Mr. Taneja made is an important point, that all these people have been in bed with the BJP. You know, whether it's TRS, you know, KCR is definitely not with the Mahagathbandhan. The PDP, the YSRC haven't come out in full support completely. Now you have Ajit Jogi there, the TMC again, you know, against the BJP, but I'm not so sure how much of a part will they be of the Mahagathbandhan. Are suddenly things looking very fluid? And what do you amount this to? Do we not have people who can stitch alliances together? Do we not have enough people talking to each other in the opposition? Where is the problem? Or are there enough prime ministerial candidates in the opposition that that nobody wants to see eye to eye?
No, BJP wants it to be a presidential election, and the states want to localize the election. So as a result, the alliances will be built state to state, and there will be a credible leadership to take on BJP and route BJP. I agree with Mr. Taneja that their assertion of the things that he made would be presented to people on whether ye dhokebaj sarkar hai ki nahi. And we will say, look at petrol, diesel prices, look at rupee, look at unemployment, look at the state of farmers, women, and the 15 lakh that was promised, and look at where Pakistan national security stands, and we will say ये देश की सबसे धोखेबाज सरकार है, इसे हटाइए, नई सरकार बनाइए. So there is an agreement with Narendra Taneja as far as alliances are concerned, and his assertion that they know how to handle alliances. I challenge, tell me one opposition party that broke alliance within opposition in the last 4 years, and I can tell 3 within BJP. Don't quote me JDU. JDU is also not an alliance fully. Every day we have news of fractures. So if there is one group that has lost alliances quarter after quarter, it is NDA. That is why I call them nationally destructible alliance. But that aside, I believe that it's a fair point. BJP is going to present its track record of gas cylinders, of Jan Dhan, and whatever it means to people, and we are going to present the track record of failed promises as well as a simple promise that this country wants a government that could provide jobs. This country wants a government that can remove the atmosphere of hate, and that can talk in simple sentences on what people need.
No, no, Ghanshyam, I don't know if anybody can take the moral high ground this evening to say we will present jobs and they are presenting destruction. The reality is that you ran a government in UP. The factions within the government, forget about it, the factions within the family were playing out in the government. So let's not get carried away. But Nirja, I will ask you the question on Mayawati's politics. And Mayawati, people believe, she has a very dedicated, loyal, intact vote bank that moves with her wherever she goes. But has Dalit politics moved away from that model of Mayawati, which is what explains why she performed poorly in Uttar Pradesh assembly elections, why she did very poorly in 2014 elections? Has it moved to more, Dalit leaders like a Jagdish Mevani or a Chandrasekhar? Has it moved away from that? The new person in UP, Ravan, who says Mayawati is my bua, and then Mayawati turns around and says, I have no nephews. I mean, is that where the politics is really moving to? The Dalit politics in India?
I think, Mayawati is, her vote bank in Uttar Pradesh has largely stayed with her, even when she did not get any seat in the Lok Sabha election and did very poorly in the assembly elections. And we also know that Dalit restlessness all over the country is growing, and this is something that has worried both the BJP, even the RSS, which has talked about this to the BJP leaders. So they have been, as I said earlier, bending over backwards to win this constituency again, which had looked at Narendra Modi-led BJP in 2014. Now, and hence the law that was amended recently. Now, Mayawati is pitching for more seats than any other regional satrap in 2019. She would like to get 40, at least in UP. She would like to get, mop up also in the other Hindi heartland states. She, an alliance with the Congress might have given her the, those seats had she been able to strike it, and she may still be able to strike a deal with the Congress. I don't think we can rule it out, because as I said earlier, she's bargaining very, very hard. So she would like to get anything upwards of 50, 55 seats to contest, and be a hope she can win with the opposition alliances, anything upwards of 40, in which case as a regional satrap, she will probably have then more than Stalin, Mamata Banerjee, and if opposition is in a position to form a government and the regional parties get together to form a federal front after the elections, then she would be the one who will have be the front runner to pitch for the prime ministerial post. At least that would be her calculation. Now coming to what you're saying, Jignesh Mevani, Chandrasekhar, these are people who have an appeal to younger Dalits. So Mayawati can play this politics of bargain and the old style politics up to a point. And if the alliances don't take place to her satisfaction and she goes on to break it, there is a certain ferment amongst the Dalits. These people, chunks of them may not go with her then, barring her own, of course, a large chunk of her own caste in Uttar Pradesh. So I think she can also push it up to a point, and which is what she is doing at the moment, pushing the envelope as much as she can.
I come from UP, and I can tell you that Mayawati is the toughest bargainer that we know from that part of the world. She's a tough bargainer, she's confident about her vote bank, but I don't know if she realizes that Dalit politics in India is also getting aspirational and is changing. Naren, Taneja will ask you a quick question. Does this suit the BJP? Does it suit the BJP to have this narrative of how the Mahagathbandhan is failing nationally? The reality is that in states like Bihar, when the Mahagathbandhan happened there, or in Gorakhpur, or in Phulpur, you lost when there was an index of opposition unity. And so it suits you to have a narrative that things are falling about nationally, even though things perhaps may be staying intact locally, in states, the point that Ghanshyam Tiwari referred to.
No, you see, the point is that we lost Gorakhpur and Phulpur because we were complacent. We admit it. And we have worked on it. It's history now. We learned the lesson. We were just complacent. You see, that's it. But, look at how people of the country, they can see it. They can see here is a political party with a very good track record, with the delivery. Whatever Ghanshyam Tiwari may say, it does really matter, but it's the people of India who matter. It's basically a party which is a solid organization, clear vision, and a very good track record. You see, versus family-owned shops, like Samajwadi Party is a family-owned tiny shop. So the question is, people have to decide, and at the same time they are trying to come together, but they all want to be prime minister. Mayawati wants to be prime minister, Mamta ji wants to be prime minister, they all want to be prime minister. I'm sure that even Dimple Yadav wants to be prime minister. The question is, that's not how the country, this is a very proud country. It's a large country, 6th biggest economy in the world, home to 1.30 billion people. People of India know what they want. And as far as the Mahagathbandhan, we don't see it on the ground. We are present across the country. We are in every village today, across the country. We don't see any Mahagathbandhan there. There is nothing happening. Mahagathbandhan is only in television studios. So if you can build Mahagathbandhan television studios and come to power, you'll be creating history. But we know there is nothing of that sort. We're going to win 300 seats this time, 2019, and we're going to be in power
there, because this is an important discussion on
Please.
politics of this country. I don't know if you got complacent. Okay, Narendra Taneja. Okay, Narendra Taneja, 1 second. You may have got complacent in Phulpur and Gorakhpur. The party is getting arrogant as you move into Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, and also in 2019. I think arrogance doesn't serve anyone well. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, a quick last word, because you represent the opposition benches here. What Mayawati has done today does dent the narrative. It dents the narrative that there is no opposition unity. It dents the narrative that opposition leaders are extremely selfish, focused on their own goals. Everybody has huge egos. Everybody wants to be a prime ministerial candidate. In some sense, do you believe at least the narrative gets dented? It doesn't augur well for the opposition.
Well, if it was, as Narendra Taneja says, that if it was merely a studio creation, obviously you are right that narrative gets dented. But this narrative starts on the ground. In states where political parties, for example in Bihar, JDU, RJD, when they came together, people really believed that this is one credible force to rout BJP. They routed BJP. In Uttar Pradesh, when SP, BSP came together, people really believed that this is a credible force that will rout BJP, and I think that is what is going to repeat. Yes, at a macro level, one can see that this is a fractured narrative, but when it has the mandate in 2019, the arithmetic will work. Without the mandate, the arithmetic anyway does not work. As far as BJP is concerned, arrogance and other things are weighing down. Look at what is happening with Rafale deal with the French president, ex-president exposing BJP. Vijay Mallya, again another exposure. All these things will count down on BJP. In Uttar Pradesh, the high water mark for BJP was 42.65% votes in 2014, which came down to nearly 41% votes in 2017. It is going to slip further. As far as SP-BSP is concerned, our combined high water mark is 52% and our low water mark is 49%. So BJP is slipping down while we continue to inch up.
All right, that's the political slugfest that will continue up until 2019. For now, Mayawati has stumped the opposition, especially the principal opposition. It's important to tell our viewers here that the Congress party today said they will not participate in a discussion on this topic. I don't know if backroom channels are at work or have they decided to keep away from this controversy and not ruffle any more feathers. But thank you very much, Narendra Taneja, Ghanshyam Tiwari and Neerja Chaudhary, for joining us on this edition of the India Development Debate.